Well, welcome to week 13. I know you all have been enjoying looking at each other's papers by now, and as I pointed out earlier, really the purpose of peer review, sure, is to help each other out. It's also to just kind of learn about each other's projects, which I think is very, very interesting. Of course, you did that through the PowerPoints. But the main thing here is to really be looking at other people's writing and say, okay, how can I model my writing off the best writing that I see here? Now, some of you aren't very confident about your own writing. I understand that, but all of us recognize good writing when we see it. Okay, so when you see something really good, say, well, how can I duplicate that? And when I say really good, I mean well-focused paragraphs that begin quite clearly with topic sentences. A topic sentence is the point you want to make, not the point the research made, but the point you want to make. Then the rest of the paragraph spends its time developing, illustrating, and proving the point that you just made. Okay, so you look at each other's papers and look for that kind of writing, and you're going to be in good shape. Another thing you can do is please look at page 5 of your syllabus. As you think about revising your paper, it's critical that you turn into me a polished draft. If you turn in a piece of junk to me, I'll recognize it, and I'll mark you down right away for lack of effort. Okay, and I've had students do that. I've had students say, well, you know, you told me all along I was getting a good grade, so I didn't see why I had to, you know, do this, right? Or I didn't like the grade you gave me, so I'm not going to revise it or learn anything from this because you told me I was doing fine up until now, and just whining. So don't be whining. You know, you need to turn in your best effort. I'll mark you down otherwise, and I certainly won't give you many opportunities to get more points through revision, all right? So it's up to you to do the work. It's not up to me to do the work. I've gotten to this point in the class thinking everything's in good shape, and suddenly I'm starting to be whined at. It's like, huh? You know, I'm not doing the work here. You're doing the work. That's the whole purpose of this process, all right? And I don't mean to scold you, but I've learned from experience that, wow, you really need to step up to the plate now. This is not the point to be lazy, and don't accidentally PISS me off, okay? And I've had that happen. It's a very odd thing, you know. It's a beautiful spring day, so I'm expecting you to, you know, step up to the plate at this point. Please look at your syllabus. Please start with page 5. The criteria for the paper is very carefully explained. As you look at your own draft, right, as you look at the comments from your peers in your draft, say, okay, have I met this criteria? Have I met these criteria? They begin on page 5 and they go through page 7, and they're very clearly written out. Please note at the bottom of page 7, here's what I state. I state that I rarely give more than 10 points. That's a full letter grade for revisions. So therefore, it's very important that you turn in to me your best effort in your polished draft. Please note that just because you received, quote, good grades on prior assignments, this does not automatically mean you'll receive a similar grade on this assignment. I'm grading this with the criteria strictly in mind that I presented in the syllabus, okay? The entire purpose of the polished draft is to help both of us come up with an appropriate revision strategy if such an effort is still needed to create an A paper. So you really, to get an A paper, you need to turn in a good paper to begin with. It can't be a piece of CARP. Can't do that, okay? That said, just kind of knuckle down, look at your draft again, make sure it has fully developed paragraphs, make sure there's research material, source material in every paragraph, but don't start those paragraphs with the source material. Start the paragraph with a point that you want to make, and then use the source material, your research, to support that point, prove that point, show the reader what you mean by that point, how that point, you know, how you actually got to that point in your head. You get to the point in your head from your research, not from your preconceived opinions. So if you have questions throughout the week, you know, I'll be glad to answer them for you. But please, just because you turn in your draft to peer review, don't think that's your best effort. It's not. You really need to sit down and look at your paper again, hold it up next to the syllabus and say, okay, do these two things match? Do the criteria that were, you know, illustrated, illuminated in the syllabus, can I see those same criteria at work here in the paper? Do the two match? What kind of grade do you think, you know, do I think I'm going to get out of this paper? All papers need revision. Revision is a constant process. I revise my syllabus all the time. Okay, I revise these courses all the time. So please, buckle down. This is not a week to coast. You really want to turn in your best effort at this point. I'm looking forward to reading the research papers, and you'll get commentary back from me pretty quickly. We've got a lot of work next week myself, but I'll get the papers back to you. So please, polished draft is due to me Sunday night, April 18th. Don't be late. See you on Monday. Bye now.